A train carrying hazardous materials derails, forcing the evacuation of a Chicago suburb. And how the federal government is trying to make housing affordable. Newswatch starts right now. A federal arts agency is concluding their trip here in Southeast Ohio. Good evening, I'm Donovan Varney, and welcome to Newswatch. You're now taking a live look at the town hall meeting at Stewart's Opera House in Nelsonville. A delegation from the National Endowment of the Arts is in Athens County today. The visit is to understand the importance of and how to support the arts in rural communities. The team's first stop was at Passionworks Studio, where they interacted with artists and even got to do some of their own. It was followed by a tour of the Black Historic Sites in Athens, which was led by Mount Zion Baptist Church Preservation Society. The National Endowment for the Arts is the largest funder of art in the country. A conflict of interest issue involving a now former Hopewell Township trustee is being referred to the Ohio Ethics Commission. State auditors determined the township made more than $16,000 in payments to a business owned by then trustee David Hours. The payments in 2020 and 2021 were for the repairs and maintenance of township vehicles. The issue was noted in a management letter as a part of an audit to the Perry County Township's finances. State law prohibits trustees from having an interest in the profits or benefits of public contracts entered on the board they serve. As we approach the 4th of July, Coolville residents can celebrate the holiday early. Tomorrow, a fireworks show will be held at the Port Campground and Dock in Coolville. The event is set to begin at 9 p.m. Spectators will be able to watch from 28584 Rock Run Road.
And for the weather out there, it's going to be a beautiful one for some fireworks. This high pressure that we've been experiencing all day is continuing to tomorrow, and it's going to be a great night for some fireworks. Today, though, this cold front has been impacting all of Ohio, making a lot of the temperatures of the northern part of the state a lot cooler than here in Southeast Ohio. The radar, we are on the clear side. That system that we were experiencing last night has made its way through. It gave us a little bit of a humid start, some patchy fog for our morning, but now we're starting to dry out. It's going to be very dry looking at tomorrow, so it's going to be a beautiful day out there until this system hits us this weekend. For those temperatures, Athens 86, Huntington 84, and Parkersburg 86. And as we go more north, that's whenever you're going to be seeing those little bit of cooler temperatures as you go more north. That high pressure from the north was really cooling down a large part of the state. And we've been lucky here in Southeast Ohio to have a little bit of those warmer temperatures from these past 24 hours, last night in those 60s, and then once the day really kicked off, the southern part of the state was a lot warmer than any part of the rest of Ohio. Tonight, that's whenever the cooling is going to be starting here, though, with that low of 56 in those mostly clear skies. Those clear skies are going to continue tomorrow, have a beautiful warm day, have those fireworks, but Saturday, that's whenever we're going to be seeing some rain and a little bit of a cooling ending out that weekend. Definitely stick back with us to see just how much rain we're looking at for our Saturday. Let's take it back over to Donovan.
Thanks, Isabel. Ohio lawmakers passed what the state budget director calls, quote, the largest capital budget in state history. Senate Bill 292 provides $4.2 billion worth of improvements to state buildings, universities, parks, and many other projects the community wanted. It also includes $717 million in one-time surplus state funds for local projects. The $4.2 billion spending package passed handily in each chamber on what is expected to be the last day of session before this fall's election. Ohio lawmakers are also advancing a bill banning transgender students from using bathrooms that fit their gender identity. The Republican-backed bill was sent back to the Senate with the amended provision pertaining to public K-12 schools and institutions of higher education. It would not apply to employees, emergencies, or people helping young children or those with disabilities. Schools can still provide single-use and family public bathrooms. The bill would also prohibit male and female students from sharing overnight accommodations. Coming up, the Supreme Court is blocking a billion-dollar settlement, and what Boeing is doing amidst rising safety concerns.
Tomorrow we're warming up and getting beautiful, but Saturday we're going to have some rain. Just how much? Next on Newswatch.
I am Professor Jasper Tempest. There have been 4 unexplained sudden deaths in the southeast.
Professor?
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 My name...
I know who you are.
Jasper has been taken to prison.
What was your plan? Truth and justice are not always compatible.
We're just gonna let people die.
There are moves afoot to cut you loose.
We shall have to wait and see.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
This is Portofino. It's full of love and beauty, but there's always a scandal.
I want to buy your hotel.
I'd rather burn it to the ground than sell it to you.
What have you got yourself involved in?
Be careful. There'll be no going back.
For God's sake, do it!
What's done is done.
In hospital, you deal with cases. On the district, you deal with people. When mothers come to us, they bring everything they are with them.
There's nothing nicer than a fresh start.
You have done your best. Sometimes our best must be enough.
We're gonna take good care of you.
We're with you now.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
A day after the NTSB released its findings in the East Palestine train derailment, some residents in suburban Chicago are now being evacuated following a similar tragedy. It happened this morning in Madison. About 25 cars on the train operated by the Canadian National Railway Company are involved, and at least one of them is leaking liquefied petroleum gas. A railroad spokesman said the other cars were carrying various substances, but wouldn't specify exactly what they were. After arriving on the scene, first responders declared there is no danger to public safety. Officials say there are no reports of any casualties so far. In a Supreme Court ruling coming today, a multi-billion-dollar settlement involving Purdue Pharma has been rejected. If the deal was approved, the Sackler family would pay $6 billion to treatment programs and victims of the opioid epidemic. And in exchange, the family would have immunity from future civil lawsuits. A vast majority of opioid victims and their families were in support of this deal, but it has been paused since August of last year. The court is issuing opinions tomorrow morning. The Supreme Court is blocking the Environmental Protection Agency's air pollution fishing good neighbor plan. The 5-4 decision puts the courts on hold while legal challenges continue. Ohio is one of the 3 states challenging the rule. The plan imposes strict emission limits on power plants and industrial sources in upwind states to reduce pollution downwind. Boeing believes missing paperwork may have caused an Alaska Airlines flight to lose a door plug in the air. It was already known that documentation showing who worked on the door plug of the 737 MAX plane is missing, but this week, Boeing said the lack of paperwork is why the incident occurred. The 4 bolts that are needed to hold the door plug in place were never installed before the plane left the factory. Boeing says the team that needed to reinstall the bolts didn't have a work order telling them to do it. An incident was pretty much inevitable. Fortunately, when it happened, no passengers were seriously injured and the plane landed safely. Boeing is opening doors to its 737 MAX jet factory in the state of Washington this week, giving reporters and the flying public a view into how their aircrafts are made and the quality improvements the company says it's making after a string of safety lapses. Laura Aguirre brings us more.
Our culture is far from perfect, but we are taking action and we are making progress.
Boeing's president and CEO on Capitol Hill earlier this month, renewing his company's commitment to quality and safety.
Let's be honest about it. Let's own it.
This week, Boeing's leadership opened the doors of their factory in Renton, Washington, giving cameras access to the assembly line and the senior vice president of quality.
We participated in a safety walk and a compliance walk.
Elizabeth Lund says around 70,000 Boeing employees have now taken part in working sessions focused on enhancing quality.
Throughout these stand downs, we have received over 30,000 ideas, pain points, areas for improvement.
One key area, the installation of door plugs on the 737 MAXs, like the one that blew off an Alaska Airlines jet in January. The NTSB's investigation quickly centered on 4 missing bolts and threw a spotlight on the company's overall safety processes and culture.
I saw the ridiculous amount of pressure that was put on factory workers by executives to rush to get the planes out the door.
This former Boeing production manager is one of multiple whistleblowers to come forward. He spoke to CNN earlier this week. And a new reprimand from the NTSB came Thursday morning after Boeing revealed that the team tasked with reinstalling the bolts on the door plug involved in the Alaska Air blowout didn't receive the paperwork telling them to do so. The NTSB says this violated their rules on releasing non-public investigative details to the media. Boeing apologized to the agency for overstepping, saying it held the briefing in an effort to, quote, take responsibility and be transparent. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Boeing says it will no longer have access to information generated by the NTSB during its investigation related to the door plug blowout.
All across the country for our weather, you're going to be seeing this high pressure system that has been giving us those beautiful skies today. A little bit of a humid morning from this system making its way to the south, but it has been a beautiful one out there and it's going to continue into tomorrow. Those temperatures out there from that high pressure system have really made the northern part of the state a lot chillier than it has been down in Athens. That I-70 line is really that line of whether you're in those 80s or 70s right now. You can see in Ashtabula, they're right on the line at that 70-degree mark. But here in Athens, 86, about 20 degrees difference from the top and bottom of the state. Tonight, though, that's when we're going to have those cooler temperatures round out in southeast Ohio with that overnight low of 56. Those mostly clear skies still from that high pressure system. 12 hours ahead, looking at tomorrow morning, still going to have that high pressure in our area. It is going to lift a little bit, give us some warmer air, have that little bit of a warmer day tomorrow, and that cold front has really made its way through. So we're going to have a little bit higher than average summer day, but definitely a lot warmer than today. 24 hours ahead, still having a beautiful night for your Friday night before some rain comes in. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, that temperature high of 91, a lot warmer than today, and that low of 70, almost 20 degrees difference from tonight's overnight low. It is going to be very nice out there before this rain starts to kick in. Saturday morning, we're still looking like we're in the clear. These two systems might give us a little bit of humidity for our morning, and then once we're looking at that afternoon to evening hour, that's whenever the system is going to be making its way through with this warm front. It's going to be warming us up for tomorrow, giving for our Friday, then Saturday cooling us off just a little bit from this cloud cover in that rain that we're going to be having. But after that system, we're seeing a little bit of more clearing. We're in this kind of loop of day of rain, a couple days of sun, and then just this rain once again. And it is going to be continuing into early next week. Our weekend, we're going to have those clear skies for tomorrow, warming, that 80% chance of showers for a little bit after that evening hour, giving us about an inch of rain all throughout our Saturday, and then Sunday clearing out. Our morning might have a couple showers here and there, but mostly sunny and cooling off just a little bit with that low of 54. Our week, we're going to be having those mostly sunny skies looking at Monday and Tuesday. But our 3rd and 4th of July, we might have some showers in there. It is going to be having that trend of warming up for those couple days, then cooling off for our Sunday and Monday. Monday, we're not even going to be making it out of those 80s, those lows in those 50s once again. Tuesday, partly sunny, those clouds starting to roll in, warming us up just a little bit before we get hit with those chance of storms for the 3rd. That high of 90 for those next couple days, they're going to be feeling a lot more seasonal, and we're going to have those pretty normal summer showers here and there on Wednesday and Thursday. Definitely don't want it to happen for our 4th of July, but that's what it's looking like for right now. Those can change in the future. We're really ballparking these showers, so definitely stick back with us to see just how much those 4th of July plans are going to be changing. Let's take it back over to Donovan.
Thanks, Isabel. A massive roaming outage for 3 major mobile carriers is affecting American customers that are currently out of the country. AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon confirmed their U.S. customers traveling abroad are having issues making calls, sending messages, and using data. According to Verizon, roughly 30% of its abroad customers' calls and data connections aren't going through. T-Mobile said it was a problem with the third-party communications provider, Cineverse. Cineverse manages international roaming communications for various carriers. The company is working to fix the issue, but did not give a cause. A rematch of the 2020 presidential debate has a national audience on the edge of their seats tonight. President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump face off at 9 p.m., and rarely have candidates ever had so much material to discuss. With Republican Trump convicted of 34 felony counts, the question many are wondering is if President Joe Biden can press the case tonight against Trump. This will be the third debate between the two candidates. With the presidential debate tonight, Mandy Gaither has today's Health Minute with some ways you're able to help ease election stress and anxiety.
It's Trump versus Biden again, and whether you're left, right, or in the middle, all sides are subject to concern for the future.
What I see in my daily practice is people worried about finances, about their mental health, their physical health. If you already have a little bit of depression or anxiety, it can exaggerate that.
Psychiatrist Dr. Thomas Valenti says our brains don't like change, leaving us vulnerable to stress and the start of a downward spiral, which can lead to anxiety and depression.
Regardless of what political party you assign yourself to, there's a 50-50 chance that your candidate may not win. And so that starts the cycle for some people of being fear-based.
Valenti says to ease election stress by limiting exposure, take a break from all things related to the election, especially if it's creating anxiety. Next, keep up a healthy routine by eating well, exercising, and getting good quality sleep. And remember, the election will end.
I think some people just can't see that. They can't see through it. And then it just tends to build to a crescendo where it's overwhelming.
Finally, seek help either from friends, family, or a mental health professional. Talking about your worries can ease the burden.
Medication can help. So can psychotherapy, counseling, meditation, yoga, art, aromatherapy. It's not just one path or one treatment.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Valenti says that if you're already in treatment and feel like medication isn't working, a dose adjustment may be necessary. He said genetic testing like Genocyte can be used to decide whether patients are on the right medication or if they need something else to augment it to work better. Next, find out if your Volkswagen car is up for recall. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
I hear the echoes all through the meadows. Breathe in and let go. That sweet surrender. I've been running all through the night. You can knock me down, but I've got my will to survive. Rise up, rise up.
Together, we can make real change happen.
Fasten your seatbelts.
This is amazing.
Wow.
Did you vote?
It feels like I have a home.
These are your immigrant ancestors.
This is wild.
Never anticipated this. I am forever
changed. I'm pleased to tell you you're going to be finding your roots.
Are we really this close?
I can't tell you what we found, but what we found was you.
The biggest U.S. banks could be more vulnerable now compared to a year ago. A review the Federal Reserve released Wednesday found that banks could suffer higher losses if a significant economic downturn were to hit now versus in 2023. The Fed conducts tests to monitor and uncover potential signs of weaknesses in the financial system. The test took an extra layer of importance after the collapse of 3 U.S. banks last year. The current high interest rates has made it risky for banks to make loans. However, the Fed says big banks are still well positioned to survive a federal recession. Economists at the Bank of America are warning first-time home buyers to be patient. They believe that the housing market will be stuck until at least 2026. People who already own homes are trapped with them because of the high mortgage rates. And with a low housing supply that can't keep up with demand, house prices have nowhere to go but up. In May, the average price of a home in the U.S. climbed to a record $419,000. Bank of America predicts that prices will continue to rise by about 5% for the next 2 years before dipping by 0.5% in 2026. The Biden administration is pushing to make housing more affordable. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen announced a plan earlier this week to help lower the costs. But housing affordability is an ongoing crisis that is impacted by a variety of economic issues right now. Jen Sullivan looks at the various reasons for rising home costs in today's Consumer Watch.
For the 11th month in a row, housing prices jumped year over year across the country, according to the National Association of Realtors. The median existing home sales price last month jumped 5.8% to $419,300, the highest price ever recorded.
There's not enough inventory, so the buyers are left with so few choices.
The housing affordability crisis is an issue impacting the entire U.S.
We face a very significant housing supply shortfall that has been building for a long time. And this supply crunch has led to an affordability crisis.
Speaking in Minneapolis this week, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen unveiled the Biden administration's plan to create a $100 million fund to help finance affordable housing projects over the next 3 years. But it's not just the lack of inventory that's driving up prices. While inflation overall has cooled, shelter costs, which measure things like rent and mortgage costs, continue to rise, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. As of June 20th, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate averaged 6.87%, according to Freddie Mac. In a recent analysis of data from Zillow and StreetEasy found rent prices last year grew faster than wages in about half of major metro areas.
That is particularly upsetting because you can't really cut back on that.
Many economic experts say these high housing costs aren't likely to come down anytime soon. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
If you drive an SUV, your car might be getting recalled. Volkswagen is recalling almost 300,000 SUVs nationwide. The problem is a fault in the car that can prevent the passenger side airbags from deploying. This is because of the way that the seat heaters are wired, causing a failure with the weight sensors. When that happens, the vehicle switches off the airbag even though someone may still be in the seat. Volkswagen says it will notify owners of faulty cars via mail by August 16th. Once the parts are ready, dealers will replace the faulty parts for free. Still ahead, this statue of a historical figure just couldn't handle the summer heat. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
We are entertainers first. That's my stage.
There were some anger issues.
You cannot be serious! If you say sex god, I hope I was popular for my tennis.
She made women believe that they are equal to men.
Tennis was absolutely massive.
On The Great American Recipe, create a special dish that always brings a smile to your loved one's face.
What are we making?
I'm making crab cakes for my babe.
This was the first dish that I made for my wife. We're married now, so.
Looks really dry. Where's your oil? Let's try to get more hydration.
I gotta keep an eye on time.
It's a moment of truth.
Hope and pray to the pressure cooker gods, you know?
Monday at 9 on WOUB.
You know soup's gonna be good when it starts with browned pancetta.
Get ready as Bridget, Julia, and the rest of the gang explore new recipes and cooking techniques.
And now the crimping begins.
Plus new gadgets, equipment, and ingredients.
Is there anything sadder than a burger on a plain bun?
It's a great new season of America's Test Kitchen.
I'm going through a lot of cake.
It's our only home.
This was a totally unexpected discovery.
Just growing anticipation and excitement, and then boom.
It's not just about coral reefs, it's about life on this planet.
It's amazing what these divers are doing so that humans can be a part of the solution.
There's so much evidence of life in the ice ages in North America. That is a human footprint.
Wednesday on WOUB.
Finally tonight, no one can keep their cool during the current heat wave. That includes a wax sculpture of President Abraham Lincoln. The statue on the lawn of the Washington, D.C. elementary school started melting over the weekend amidst the high temperatures. By Tuesday afternoon, Lincoln lost his head. The statue was created with wicks and intended to burn slowly over time by visitors who were asked to light and then blow out the flame before leaving the site. The artist says the wax should have been able to handle this heat. Okay, I mean, if you're building something like that out of wax, I don't know how you wouldn't expect it to melt like that.
And you're expecting it to burn, and then, it'll be fine in the heat. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Poor Lincoln was decapitated. I was like, oh my goodness.
Whenever you said his head was gone, I was like, oh no.
I know. It's just that heat has been crazy lately.
It has, especially as we go more south. Especially today, we're luckily in the little bit of a cooler temperature out there. We're currently at that 86 with those clear skies. Going into tonight, though, we are going to be cooling down. Not as hot as it is there in Washington with those mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, that temperature high of 91, a little bit above average. That low of 70 is going to be a lot warmer than we're experiencing tonight. So enjoy those sunny, mostly sunny skies while they're around, because Saturday we're looking at some showers. Those showers are going to be impacting us from about that mid-afternoon till the night, and then looking into a little bit of Saturday. So we're having about an inch of rain right now. Stick back with us tomorrow just to see how long we're going to be having that rain for our Saturday. Then looking at Sunday, that 30% chance of showers for our morning. That our week is looking very sunny for our Monday and Tuesday. Then Wednesday and Thursday, our 3rd and 4th of July. Right now we're looking like we're having that chance of storms, but we're going to be definitely wanting to check back and see just how much those 4th of July plans are going to be changing, if there are. So throughout the week this week, Friday, mostly sunny. Our weekend is going to be on that rainy side. Then early next week, our work week is going to be sunny. Tuesday, those partly sunny skies are continuing. We're going to be warming up for our Wednesday combined with those storms. That warm front is going to be making its way through, warming up those low temperatures also almost at those 70s for that Wednesday low. And then Thursday, 4th of July, currently at that 50% chance of thunderstorms. Stick back with us to see if your 4th of July plans change.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Isabel Isco, I'm Donovan Varney. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Let's make the most of this summer.
There's about to be a whole lot of love in this kitchen.
Smells good in here.
Come on, baby, come on.